The ripple effect. One action creates infinite impact. Are you using this to supersize your business, to make your life better, to make your business better, to stand out from your competition? 20 years ago, probably more like 30 plus years ago, somebody said something to me, and it's stuck with me all this time. It will still pop up when I'm thinking of something every once in a while, and I just smile because I love this person. They had the business next door to mine. That business I was involved in for 35 years. We weren't always in that location, but when we were probably there over 20 years, probably 25 years. But I digress. It helped me to realize that the things that we say and do in our business and as individuals absolutely positively matter. And they have this huge ripple effect that we are woefully unaware of. And I think it just reminds me that we always want to be putting good into the world to make the world a better place, because that's what we want to create more of. Now, the truth is, it works the opposite way too. If we put anger, negativity, jealousy, competitiveness, all the negative things that we can think of, if we put those out into the world, we get more of those as well. And so cautionary tale. I'm not going to be a cautionary tale. Well, I am a cautionary tale. I had sudden cardiac arrest in 2010 because I was taking in all the negative that I was being bombarded with in my life and in my world. And there was a whole lot of it in a lot of different areas and aspects of my life. And they were largely things outside of my control. So instead of controlling the things I could control, it blew up. So that just goes to show us there's a cumulative and ripple effect of negative and or positive in our life. We get to choose what we're going to pay attention to and focus on. At that particular time, I was focusing on everything that was out of control, chaotic, and absolutely positively, I knew it needed to change, but I didn't know, and I wasn't giving myself personal power and permission to let it change. And that resulted in something almost catastrophic for me and my family, right? I think most people think that when we die, it's catastrophic. At least it ends the version of our life that we're living right then. So I remember that. I also remember a time when I remember one of my first motivational speakers that I ever listened to and went to and saw. And I carried his card around with me for at least 20 years in my wallet because he had like happiness formula for life. And he was a motivational speaker, of course. And so every once in a while, I need to pull that out and remind myself and read it. That's why I love carrying these cards around. Where's my card today? I like to carry cards from different decks around with me, usually one a day, because every once in a while, something negative happens. We want to make sure that we're putting good and positive into the world to cause positive ripples. The ripple effect is invisible. We really never know the impact of something we say or do to someone else. And I think that's why the older I get, the more I think it's critical that we self-pace and self-regulate and actually be self-aware in terms of the impact we could be having on others. What really brought this home for me personally was having grandchildren. My children turned out to be amazing human beings in spite of the way I raised them and the craziness and the chaos that ensued in our lives. But as I had grandchildren, I really realized and have been thinking about the impact that what happens to us before we're 5 and 7 years old sets the tone for the beliefs we're going to have the rest of our life. Because our brain works in a way that we hear something and then we believe it about ourselves, especially if it's tied to something emotionally strong or something that's repeated often. We start to identify with that, meaning it becomes part of our identity. Since coming on the school platform, have realized I have a whole bunch of those things, and we all do. But now I know that I'm aware of them and I can't ignore them anymore. I can't just stuff them down and pretend they don't exist. We need to do something with them. And that applies to our life as well as our businesses. So I think the first step is always to be aware of that this is a thing. This is a real thing. It's not a made-up thing. And we have an impact on people, either positive or negative, and we get to decide what that's going to be. And I guess if your business isn't having a positive impact on the world, why are you doing it? What are you doing it for? If it has a negative impact on the world, yikes. I say, good luck with that. Small gestures compound and make a huge difference in everyone else's life. I used to go for walks up and down the dike, it's called. It's a place close to my home and where my business was. And it was my way to unwind and relax and deal with and think, because sometimes we just need peace and quiet to think for ourselves so we know what the next right thing to do is, or the next right thing to say is. We're all that person for someone else, or we can be. A lot of people, I think now with the internet, people are more isolated than ever before, which seems kind of mind-boggling, because you think with the internet we would be more connected and people in remote areas could connect with other people more. But I think it's like anything else. We live in a dual universe, and there's duality. So all the positives are offset by all the negatives of anything that comes into our lives. So what are we going to do with this today? I want you to think about one person, one thing, one thing that somebody said to you, or a gesture that they made toward you, or that a way that they helped you that has had a positive impact in your life. And you realize after this topic today that you've been passing that on all along. I think each of us have something like that. And then if you're brave, share that in the comments below to encourage other people, because we never know when we smile at somebody or say hello or wish them a good morning, the impact that's going to have on them. Remember, a lady stopped me one day on one of those walks down the dike and said, and I have no idea who she was. She's just a lady I used to see on my walks and say hi to her, wave to her, say good morning or good afternoon, whatever time of day it was that I encountered her. And she said, I just want to thank you. When I first started coming here, I was in a really bad place. And every morning, no matter what, you said hi to me and smiled. And no matter how bad I was feeling, that made it all better. That made me feel better. That made me feel seen. And it gives me goosebumps still thinking about that. I mean, just a nice lady that happened to live in my hometown. I don't know if she lives in my hometown. I don't know where she lived. Anyway, so we all have a story like that. And you actually probably have hundreds or thousands of stories like that. You just are not aware of them. Just know we get out of things what we put into them. Put good into everything, you're going to have good results. Put bad into everything, you're going to have bad results. So our action item today is to reach out to one person, one past client, one person today, and just check in with them and see how they're doing. I think that those are some of the most rewarding conversations that we have. If you like this and like talking about topics like this, I invite you to join us on our preschool community. It's a place where we work on all the different areas and aspects of our business. We're focusing in on a 90-day program right now, but we still do other things. We touch on other things and other topics. Anything you need help with, you just have to ask. Reach out and ask. You have no idea how far your kindness has traveled. And I think that if you look for it today, you'll be pleasantly surprised, or you'll be awakened to the fact that you're not always very nice. There's times when I'm not very nice. I don't mean to be not very nice, but if I'm tired or if I'm hangry and hungry and I've had a long day, or something that I consider bad happened during the day, it's the whole if you stub your toe getting out of bed story. You can say, oh, that hurt, and then go on and change your frame of reference and make it a great day. Or you can let something as tiny as stubbing your toe in the morning or tripping on the rug ruin your whole day. It's up to you. All right, if I can help you in any way, ask. Otherwise, have an awesome day, and I will, of course, see you tomorrow.